This is China. Some people believe that China would be covered with sand from its rapidly expanding desert and that the country known for its population would be displaced from its habitat due to harsh conditions caused by climate change and desertification. On the other hand, China changed the narrative and is rapidly contributing to greenhouse solutions through their successful afforestation project. Although some professionals have criticized their approach, the Chinese are motivated by a desire to eliminate a threat that is rapidly becoming a threat to global food security. So, will their approach help the global quest for a sustainable environment and food security? You'll have to watch this video until the end to find out. China has been planting thousands of trees since 1978. The mission was spoon-fed by China's ambitious project to slow the expansion of the Gobi Desert. Fortunately, farmer Wang Jinyi, who has spent years planting trees in the Gobi Desert, has helped turn the vast land green again. Troops of volunteer groups have joined the plan of reforestation of the Gobi Desert under the state-led Green Great Wall as part of China's goal to increase total forest coverage to 24.1% by 2023. We've all seen how some African countries have banded together to build the Great Green Wall of Africa in the Sahel region to fight desertification and global warming in their region by reviving dead soil. However, desertification is still considered the most significant environmental challenge of our time, and the future doesn't look promising. Unfortunately, it's estimated that an area 3 times the size of Switzerland is lost to the sands of the world's deserts each year. That means we're losing this much arable land every year, which means fewer crops and a global threat to food security. That's truly heartbreaking. Desertification has closely been studied by urban planners and disaster managers all over the world. Although some countries have suffered from a lack of long-term planning and poor governance, desertification is the primary cause of poverty in the majority of countries. It's estimated that more than 2.5 billion people's livelihoods are at risk, particularly in China. Around 28% of China's territory is classified as desert, and the figure is growing, threatening the life of the world's most populous country. The Gobi Desert is currently the fastest-moving desert on the planet. It's estimated to consume over 3,370 square kilometers of land each year. However, the Chinese have been extremely successful in combating desertification over the years. In 1949, China had a forest area of slightly more than 80 million hectares, with a forest coverage rate of only 8.6%. However, with a forest area of 220 million hectares, of which 80 million hectares were artificially planted, its forest cover rate reached 23 by 2020. The Gobi is a cold desert in general, with frost and snow on the dunes on occasion. Aside from being quite far north, it's also situated on a plateau 2,990 to 4,990 feet above sea level, contributing significantly to its cold temperature. The Gobi receives an average of 7.6 inches of rain per year. In winter, snow blown by the wind from the Siberian steppes reaches parts of the Gobi. These winds can cause the Gobi to reach temperatures ranging from 40 degrees Fahrenheit in winter to 113 degrees Fahrenheit in summer. So far, they have converted 80 million hectares of desert land into forests in 7 years. In comparison, 80 million hectares is nearly 4 times the size of the United Kingdom, much larger than the entire state of Texas and twice the size of California. Nevertheless, this statistic appears to be a step in the right direction, and many people have praised China's efforts to create a livable world for current and future generations. Although this project required a great deal of sacrifice and patience, we're glad they began it. So, how did the Chinese achieve such dominance? Despite having a surface area almost as large as the United States of America, only 12% of the territory is arable. On the other hand, China has the world's most abundant agricultural production. That means that every bit of arable land is being used intensively, and the government has recently invested heavily in improving crop growth while preserving the territory. Furthermore, the fertile land in the area is an added agricultural benefit. However, this land has been under such severe threat over the past decades that farmers actually believed they would lose their farmlands to the growing desert. Before the Chinese decided to fight back against the rapidly expanding desert threatening their very existence as a nation, They had lost over 28% of their landmass, and desertification had affected over 40 million people in 11 provinces. That's more than 6 times the population of Turkmenistan, a country in Central Asia. The loss and impact demonstrated to the Chinese that aggressive reforestation techniques are the best approach. While the expansion of the Gobi Desert in China is attributed to most human activities locally, such as deforestation, overgrazing, and water resource depletion, as well as climate change, this expansion eats away at land that was once suitable for agriculture and creates uncontrollable sandstorms that batter cities near the desert's edge. The Gobi was inhabited for a long time, mostly by nomadic peoples. However, by the early 20th century, the region was nominally controlled by Manchu China and inhabited primarily by Mongols, Uyghurs, and Kazakhs. Outsiders had only a hazy understanding of the Gobi Desert as a whole, as information was limited to observations made by individual travelers on their respective itineraries across the desert. Africa, Arab countries, Pakistan, and others have carried out desert reforestation. But China is very different. Reforestation is done on a massive and extensive scale to convert desert to agricultural land. Since 1978, the Chinese government has been working on a project known as the Three North Shelter Forest Program, also known as the Great Green Wall, which aims to stop the Gobi by constructing a 2,800-mile wall of trees to block its path. Furthermore, in 1995, China enacted strict environmental laws that prohibited tree cutting, free-roaming stock animals on the steppes, and farming on slopes. Farmers were instead encouraged and incentivized to plant trees on top of the hills, and they were compensated for building small dams to trap water in the lowest plateau, ensuring that water fed the trees and did not run off into the Yellow River. Before we continue, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel, Techno Global Innovation. Let's get back to the video. How does the Chinese government support afforestation? Farmers continued farming on new land after the soil regenerated, and the government purchased agricultural goods from those same farmers, encouraging them to plant more trees in desert areas and turn them into forests. We're all aware that people's lives on the planet are dependent on air and water, but not everyone is aware that forests play an important role. Forests, mostly made up of trees, are home to 80% of the world's terrestrial biodiversity. It can absorb and store carbon while also conserving soil and water and providing oxygen and resources. Yet, a desert does not appear to be the most promising location for tree planting. China has planted at least 66 billion of them in its arid northern territories since 1978. Hoping to turn its sandy stubbies and yellow dunes into a great green wall. The Chinese planting process is very interesting, and it's mostly done by building boxes in the desert. Each box is set up for one tree. The vegetation environment gradually changed as the trees grew taller. Animals and birds began to arrive, different types of companion plants began to grow, and the climate in the area eventually changed to be cooler and more comfortable. The second is the Mauso Desert. It's one of the country's 4 major deserts until it vanished from the map 60 years ago. It was completely desert before, but now 93% of the land is green. In the 1950s, the area was completely barren, consisting of nothing but sand and stones, which posed a problem for nearby communities. The city of Yulin, for example, was forced to relocate 3 times after experiencing relentless sandstorms, after the success was more incredible. Its landscapes changed dramatically over a 35-year period. From the 1950s to the 1990s, desertification spread quickly across the desert, devouring grassland, while marginal areas in the east and south were partially restored. As a result, shifting and semi-fixed deserts covered 45% and 21% of Mauso Desert, respectively, by the late 1990s, while fixed deserts decreased by 7.2% of the total desert. Desertification was far worse in the middle and northern western pasture land areas than in the eastern and southern farmland and pasture areas. Desertification has been primarily caused by overuse, overgrazing, and overcutting. Meanwhile, between 1965 and 2010, the area of woodland increased. After 2000, the area of cultivated land decreased due to the grain for green policy. Mauso, China is reforesting Inner Mongolia's Kabuki Desert. This desert, which is a part of the Gobi, is more extensive than Mauso. The Kabuki project is well known around the world because China collaborated with the United Nations on environmental protection this time. The Kabuki reforestation project has not been completed, but only about 60 have been reforested, with more on the way. However, China has obtained an area roughly the size of Sri Lanka for forestry and agriculture from the 3 deserts they have been and are being reforested. And reforestation and greening projects will be carried out until 2050. In the 1950s, the area was completely barren, consisting of nothing but sand and stones, which posed a problem for nearby communities. After 3 years of relentless sandstorms, the city of Yulin, for example, was forced to relocate further away from the desert. This is why local villagers decided to try to repopulate the area with trees, launching a decades-long project. At the time, the government began ecological restoration work in the region, roughly the Netherlands size. However, there are 2 sides to every coin, and the major criticism of Chinese tree planting is the use of monoculture. In most cases, only one plant species was planted, making the forest vulnerable to epidemic diseases. Plant diseases have already destroyed a large number of trees. Other problems associated with monoculture include soil consumption and the difficulty for animals to establish themselves in such an environment. For example, in 2008, 20 trees died during that winter, and storms destroyed 10% of the work that year. As a result, the Chinese must exercise caution when it comes to monoculture. Another question you may have is, since most places are deserts due to a lack of water, how did the Chinese keep trees alive? One explanation is that once a significant forest canopy has grown, the trees can actively radiate heat away from the forest. This radiative cooling lowers the local temperature in that forest area and its surroundings by a few degrees, and then warm, humid air blows in. And if it has a high enough humidity level, it will begin to rain as soon as it cools. As a result, forests actively farm for their own rainwater. So far, the afforestation project appears to be doing well. However, some people seem skeptical of their plan to convert all their desert lands into the forest by 2050. Do you believe that the afforestation project will not face epidemic attacks or fail due to climate change? Please share your thoughts in the comment section. If you like this video about how China turned the desert into green forests, then make sure to watch any of the videos on our YouTube channel, Techno Global Innovations. Alright,